Yo, what's up? Ryuji here. My biggest fear, I want to talk about my biggest fear, because we're out here in Target actually, and I was here to get some stuff. We're gonna get some black wrap. We're trying to black out our windows back at home with Victor so we can sleep better. And I just turned around and he disappeared. I have no idea where he is. So I'm out here, I'm gonna shoot this video while I, try to find him maybe, or just like wait out here. I don't really know. I'll go find him in a second. In any case, biggest fear. I saw this random profile on Facebook once, and the banner, the cover photo was this photo with a text, and it said, "My biggest fear is dying and going to heaven and meeting the person I could have become." Now this scares me so much because, one of the things I really believe is that, you have to keep moving up every day. And this is something I'm obsessed with. And I always think, how can I be better today? How can I learn something new today? How can I grow today? How can I better myself? How can I become a better person, a better friend, whatever it is. And the reason I think about this is because for so long, I was stagnant. I was stagnant and I was pretty miserable. And I wasn't like the lowest of the lows, I wasn't like super depressed or anything, but it just kind of sucked to always be at the same place, right? And one thing I realized is that I can't keep doing the same thing. And I realized if you keep doing the same thing, you're gonna keep getting the same results. And I feel like a lot of times we would keep doing the same things but expect a different result out of what we do, right? And that's not what's gonna happen. Like for example, I have some friends, when I talk to them, a lot of times I can't hear what they're saying. And this is a random example, and like granted, like, it's not like completely their fault. I'm not saying like those people are wrong, and it's both. But the point is, if you're a person, and I was like this, right? This is why I talk about this, where I would talk and people could not hear me. People would be like, what? All the time, I would keep doing the same thing, right? I would keep talking the way I talk and never question the way that I talk. But really what I should have done is realize, if these people aren't hearing me, if people are not hearing what I say, or say like for me, for example, I wasn't very good socially, so I was not good at making new friends, or maybe I was not good at getting heard in different social situations. Maybe people didn't laugh at my jokes, right? Or whatever it is. What would happen is that those things would happen, and what would I do? I would keep doing the same thing. And I would never question this. I would never be like, oh, if people don't laugh at my jokes, maybe I should find a way to become funnier. Oh, if people don't hear me, maybe I should speak up. Oh, if I can't make new friends, maybe I should go learn how to make friends and try different ways of interacting with people, right? But for the longest time, I didn't realize this. I kept doing the same things, speaking the way that I spoke, cracking jokes the same way that I would crack jokes, and interacting with people the same way I interacted. And guess what? Nothing changed. It was the same result because I kept doing the same thing. Now in life, if you want a different result out of any area of your life, you have to do different things. You have to try different avenues. You have to try new things. Get out of your comfort zone. Because the reality is, if you keep doing the same thing, you're gonna keep getting the same results, right? This is not rocket science, And I feel like this is something that, we don't do. We're not taught to do this shit. We're taught to just do the same things. Because when I say I didn't try different things, it's not because I didn't want to try different things. I didn't even question it. I didn't even question the fact that, maybe if people don't listen to me, maybe it's because of the way that I speak. Maybe it's not because of them. And so I always think it's so important, because here's the thing. If you keep doing the same thing, you're gonna wake up in 2 years, and I say you, but really I'm talking to myself, because this is something I try to tell myself every day. If you keep doing what you're doing today, and you wake up in 2 years, you're gonna wake up the same person. You're gonna be at the same place you are in life. If you have some sort of goal, if you wanna move up, if you wanna become something, then you have to do something differently. You can't keep doing the same shit. Keep doing the same shit, you're gonna keep getting the same result, you're gonna be the same person. Wake up in 2 years, you're the same person, in the same position, surrounded by the same people, doing the same thing, feeling the same way. These things just don't change magically. You don't go through life and your life sorts itself out. You become better. You just like friends pop out of nowhere. Opportunities pop out of nowhere. This kind of stuff. It doesn't happen that way. You have to proactively create your life, build your life one brick at a time, one day at a time. You know, this is what I like to call the daily grind. What's your daily grind? What are the things that you do every single day that are building your life day by day, brick by brick? You know, this is what I try to focus on. I try to put importance on that. I want to say, okay, what are the things that are important? And things that are important to me are the things that, like I said, are going to build my life day to day. That's what I call the daily grind. And to me, that is the most important thing that I want to focus on, because that is what I'm going to do every single day. And I know, I trust. And the reason I trust this is not because it comes out of my brain. All my decisions, a lot of my decisions, I don't make on my own. I look at what other people have done. I look at like people who are in the positions that I want to find myself in the future, and I look at what they're doing, what they've done, and I try to mimic that, both in what they do externally, the actions that they take, but also the way that they think, the way that they relate to themselves, the way that they interpret different things. I talk about this in other videos, but that's the gist of like how I decide how to spend my time, basically. And this is one of the things, when I look at people who are successful, quote unquote, and successful can mean anything to you, in different contexts. It depends what you want out of life. It really depends. But when I look at people who are successful, I see that they have this down. I see that they put importance on their daily grind. They put importance on the little habits that they build, the things that they do every day that, they build their life day by day, brick by brick. It's the small things that you do. For example, a lot of people are successful. Tim Ferriss talks about this. Tim Ferriss is a guy that, if you don't know him, he goes around, talking to all these different people who are successful in their respective fields, and he tries to figure out trends between different people who achieve things at a very elite level. And for example, he found that a lot of these people, they meditate. Another trend that you might find is that a lot of successful people read, or, successful people are generally healthy. Tai Lopez, he's an investor, and he has a lot of like cool life tips and what he calls finding the good life. He talks about noticing the difference between what he calls his poor friends and his rich friends. And not in terms of money necessarily, but in terms of anything that you want to achieve, right? So for example, health. Look at the difference between people who are not healthy and healthy people. What are the things that are doing differently every day, Because what makes the difference is not, the 10% of things that you do. It's not what you spend 10% of your time on, or it's not what you eat 10% of the time that's going to really shape your life. It's what you do 90% of the time. It's what you eat 90% of the time. If you go around and you eat like at McDonald's once every month, that's not a big deal. It's probably not going to affect you much. It's probably not ideal. Like I don't want to do that, but it's not going to kill you. But if you're going to McDonald's like 5 days out of the week, you're eating there most of the time you're eating like junk food, fast food, then you might want to look at that. And then look at like someone who's really healthy. How are they eating? What are their eating habits? Look at that, adopt that. So like I said, things like meditation, reading, being healthy. These are just 3 of many trends that you'll see among people who are successful in many, many different fields. And what I would advise you to do is go figure that out, in whatever area it is that you want to improve, like whoever you want to become, whoever you admire, just look at that. What are they doing? What can I do like them? How do they think? And that's really what I guess like having a mentor is all about, and this is something I've been thinking about a lot recently, is this idea of getting mentors. And so there are different types of mentors. A mentor is any person who can help you either directly or indirectly, who's like further down the path that you want to go down to, right? And so for example, a lot of people find mentors in books. So they read a lot of books, and what's great with books is that, you can learn from people who are dead. You can learn from people you don't have access to. These people who spend like their lifetime figuring this one very specific thing out. And they write it, they condense it in this little book that's like, 200 pages? You can buy it on Amazon for like 10, 15 bucks. You can buy it used for like a penny, and just pay shipping. It's like $4 or something. You can get that and read that information and absorb what they've learned throughout a whole lifetime. It's so crazy when I think about that, and I feel so grateful that we have that opportunity. Now with the internet, this opportunity is getting even crazier. We have access to basically everyone. The most successful people in the world today, you have access to them through the internet. You can watch their talks. You can read articles that they've written. You can read their interviews. You can watch their interviews. There's so many opportunities to learn from these people, and I think that a lot of times we don't realize that. I didn't realize that for the longest time. We're so confined in this way of seeing learning, You know, it's like learning is, oh, we learn through school, this is how we learn, you know, like, oh, I sit in a classroom and this is how learning happens. No. Learning happens on your own terms. You know, self-education is so key. But I'm getting off track here. What I'm talking about really is the daily grind. My biggest fear, waking up in 2 years and being like, wow, I could have been so much better. I could have been a different person, but because I didn't execute, I didn't do anything, I'm still where I was 2 years ago. Anyways, that was it. Thank you guys so much for checking this out today. I really appreciate it. You know, if you enjoyed this content, subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it. But in any case, thank you again. I'll see you next time. Peace.